Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a library haul. So this morning I have been to two libraries. I've been to my local library and I've been to Liverpool Library. And I have picked up several books. You might be aware, recently I joined a fourth library, so I'm a member of 4 libraries now. And this morning, when I was taking my books back to Liverpool Library, so I got the train into town, had a big bag full of books, and I was returning them on the scanner. And you have to put them on one by one, which is really annoying. I don't know why it does that. The scanner at my local library is so much better. But anyway, and then 2 of the books they just wouldn't scan. So I went up to the desk and I was like, I'm really sorry, these books aren't scanning. I'm trying to return them. And so she was like, oh yeah, the scanner's been playing up this morning. And I was like, oh yeah. And so she goes to scan it on the machine, and then she's like, oh, it might be because it says Lancashire Libraries. And I was like, oh my god, I am such an idiot. So 2 books I've just carted around with me around town all morning for no reason, because I was trying to take them back to the wrong library. So that's really annoying. And there was a book that I meant to take back this morning that I forgot to take. So that has taught me I need to be more organised with my library books. But anyway, I'm really excited with what I've picked up. So there's a couple of books that I had on reserve that I picked up from my local library. And then from Liverpool Library, there's a few books I had my eye on. I don't do reserves there because you have to pay for them. Not that I would necessarily begrudge paying for them, because it's still a really good service. But it all adds up, doesn't it? So I tend to have a look on the catalogue, see what's available the day before I'm going, so I know what I want to pick up. And then I also picked up another random one while I was there. So should we go through? Let me see, what order are these in? Let me tell you what I picked up from my local library this morning, so the ones that I reserved. So I have All Fours by Miranda July. This is probably the one I'm going to read next. I'm really looking forward to this. It seems to split readers. People either kind of love it or hate it, but I am really looking forward to it. I heard someone, and I can't remember who it was, compare it to The Pisces by Melissa Broder, which was one of my favourite books that I read last year. So All Fours is about a 45-year-old woman, so only a couple of years older than me, who leaves her family and travels to New York. I think she stays in a motel, and it's her sort of quest for freedom. I've heard hints as to some of the scenes in here. It sounds quite visceral, maybe. I think it's meant to be quite funny as well. I am really thinking I might really like this book, so I'm really intrigued to see what I think of it. I also picked up Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fata, which I love, love, love this cover. I was also really pleased to see that it's a paperback. It's only been recently published. So I guess it's gone straight to paperback. I don't know, but I much prefer reading a paperback to a hardback, and I love this cover so much. So I read Mrs. March by this author a few years ago and enjoyed it. This sounds fabulous. So this is set in England in the 1800s, and we're following a character called Winifred, who goes to Ensor House as a governess. I love governess stories. And it says the longer she spends there, the more she learns of the perversions and pathetic preoccupations of the Pounds family. Lots of P's there. And it says she struggles at every turn to stifle the horrid compulsions of her past. That is, until her chillingly dark imagination breaks the feeble boundary of reality one Christmas morning. Interesting that it's set in the lead up to Christmas time. I don't mind reading books out of season, and I like books set at Christmas. And what I love about this is, so it's set, looking at the contents page, so it's set in 3 parts. So you've got 3 months till Christmas, 2 parts, 3 months till Christmas and 20 days till Christmas. And then each, there's a little picture at the start, and then each chapter is numbered but has a little subtitle. So chapter 1, in which I arrive at Ensor House. And I really like books that do that. It's very Victorian, and the first letter of each chapter is very ornate, and I really, really like that. I think it's going to be it's definitely a pleasing book to hold and to look at, and I'm really looking forward to that. Also from my local library, I actually picked this one up last week, I think. This was a random... I'd seen it on the library catalogue, and then it was like on the display at the front, and I was like, yeah, I really want to read this. And it's Deviants by Santanu Bhattacharya. I think this is recently published. Am I right in saying that? Let's see. Published in 2025. This sounds really, really good. So this is an electrifying story of 3 generations of gay men in India as they fight for love and dignity against the currents of their time. So we've got Vivan, who is a teenager in India. Then his uncle, who was born 30 years earlier, and what life was like for him at that time. And then before that, the uncle's uncle. And again, what it was like for him at that time. And just flicking through it, it seems like a book I could really, really love, and so I'm really looking forward to that one as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to all these books, of course I am. So next, the ones that I picked up from Liverpool this morning. So a few of these I had my eye on as things I've been keen to get to. So we have Nuclear Family by Kate Davis. I read In at the Deep End by Kate Davis. Was that last year? And loved it. It was one of my favourite books of the year. And that won the Polari Prize, apparently. Yeah, her first novel, In at the Deep End, won the Polari Book Prize, which I hadn't actually realised that. So that's interesting. And this also has a quote from Sarah Waters at the top, who says, funny, poignant, smart and wonderfully achingly real. So if Sarah Waters likes it, say no more. So this is about a family, a father and 2 daughters who are twins. And they get this DNA kit just like for a bit of fun to see what their ancestry is. And so I think one of the daughters buys it as like as a present. And then it turns out that the father is not their biological father. Him and his wife, who is now passed away, used a sperm donor, and he then is worried about how his 2 daughters are going to react to that. They have very different reactions. One of them's like not bothered at all. The other one wants to track down their biological father. It says it's a very funny and deeply moving novel about identity, donor conception, and what it means to be a family. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Another one I've been meaning to read. Well, I've wanted to read this since I think it was published. Was it last year this was published? But I couldn't sort of, 2 years ago, I couldn't sort of easily get my hands on a copy until now. And this is Bellies by Nicola Danan. I know Nicola Danan has a book recently published. I forget the name. I have got it on my wish list at the library. Disappoint Me, it's called. But I thought I would read this one first. I think this is their debut novel. And I've heard really good things about this. So this is about Tom and Ming, who meet on a night out at university and get together. And then Ming announces her intention to transition, and it's about sort of what that means for both of them and for their relationship. This, as I say, has had really good reviews, and it has like blurbs on the back, amongst others, from Elliot Page and Tori Peters, so I feel like it's going to be a good book. Then, where shall we go? We have Jackal by Erin E. Adams. This is published by Dead Ink Books, who are a local Liverpool publisher. I've read quite a bit of Dead Ink recently, and that's really because it dawned on me that I could search the library catalogue by publisher. And Liverpool Library, as you might expect, does have quite a few Dead Ink books, so that's why I've been sort of working my way through them. So this is a horror novel, and the writing is tiny, which is why I'm like struggling to read it right now. Okay, so it's about Liz. Let me see. Okay, so this is about Liz, who is a black woman and doesn't have fond memories of her hometown in Pennsylvania, which is predominantly white. But her best friend's getting married. So she goes back to the wedding, and then the couple's daughter, which couple is it? I don't know. A couple's daughter disappears. And the only thing left behind is a piece of white fabric covered in blood. And then, so there's this like search for this girl, but then it turns out that similar things have happened before, I think, and that young girls, all of them black, have gone missing in sort of similar circumstances as well. So this sounds really excellent, like a blend of like detective, horror, social commentary. I'm very much looking forward to it. How many times have I said that in this video? Only a couple left now. This is a tiny little book. This is Peach by Emma Glass. This is so short. It's probably like it's like 100 pages, a one sit-in read. I'm not entirely sure what to expect of this, but I have heard good things about it. So Peach is a teenage girl like any other, but something unspeakable has happened and the world has become unfamiliar. It says that Peach knows the people that she loves are in real danger. She must summon all her courage and find something nameless and strange that lies within her. So I don't know what to expect, but I have heard good things about it. So we'll see. And then the random pick, I mean, it wasn't totally random, but I saw it on the shelf. I was like, oh, I want to read this. It's another short one. This is a Penguin Modern Classic. This is The Faces by Tove Ditlevsen, translated from Danish by someone called... translated by Tina Nunali. So I read a short story collection by this author. What was that called? So the previous book I read is a short story collection called The Trouble with Happiness and Other Stories. And I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was excellent. So I have been wanting to read more by the author. I know that she has a memoir, which is meant to be very good, called Childhood, Youth and Dependency. And I noticed the library had that as well. It was in the fiction section. It's not fiction, but you know. I noticed in Liverpool Library quite a few books are in the wrong section. But anyway. So yeah, I think I'm hoping to really enjoy this. This is about Lise, who's a children's book writer and married mother of 3, and she is increasingly haunted by disembodied faces and voices. She's convinced her husband will leave her, she's scared she'll never write again, and she begins to wonder, is insanity really something to be feared, or does it bring a kind of freedom? So yeah, I think from what I've read of this author's writing, I think it can be sort of quite difficult to read at times. I know the author died by suicide and had like a lot of troubles. So, and that does come through in, well, certainly in what I've read of her before. But I thought this was incredible, so I am really looking forward to reading this, and I do want to read her memoir at some point. So those are all the books that I picked up this morning from the library. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you thought, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.